everybody. Good morning, morning. Happy Monday, and welcome to Blog Workshop. We're so delighted that you have decided to join us again this morning. I am coming from Tulsa this morning. That's one more thing I love about the blogging lifestyle is that it doesn't really matter where you're at. As long as you have an internet connection and a laptop, you can pretty much work anywhere. So, happy Monday, Kelly. How are you?
I'm good. As soon as you said that you're coming live from Tulsa, I started having Living on Tulsa time going through my head. Immediately started going through my head.
I don't think I know that
song. It's an old song. I know every song. And so
you know every song?
But yeah, I do. I know every song. but that is cool. I love that no matter where you go. When I was up in the US, I could still keep doing my business. When I'm here in Peru, I do my business. It doesn't matter where I'm at. I do my business. I take care of business.
All right. Well, they have extra strong coffee in Tulsa, so this last cup probably is going to push me over the edge. But we'll see if we can get a half hour with my brain intact. Today, it's so funny. I talk to so many people when they start talking about starting a blog, and they're like, yeah, I want to talk about this, but there's already so many people doing that. That niche is saturated, so I don't know what to write about. I don't know how to do it. And I kind of laugh because I used to think that in the beginning, but then I learned better, and I knew that was never true. And so I kind of laugh, but I really, really want to help people understand how no matter what niche you want to go into, you can make it yours and you can get noticed, no matter how big the niche is. There's no such thing as a saturated niche because there's only one of you, and if you do the things that we're going to talk about today, you will be able to get noticed no matter how big the niche.
And that's exactly what, I was telling you before, that's exactly what happened to me. I was talking to a friend of mine online about my blog, and the first thing he said to me, but isn't that niche oversaturated? I'm like, well, no, because nobody else is me doing it. I'm the only one of me that's doing it, so, I'm going to connect with different people. I'm not those other people that are doing it.
Exactly. That's so true. So that's like the first big thing is that you're you and no one else can be you. Dr. Seuss said it best, I think, I don't know exactly what it was, but there's that awesome Seuss quote. But there's you can go into these little niche sites, and you can talk about chainsaw sharpeners and you can make money doing that, or you can decide to go big and go into what they call an evergreen niche. And an evergreen niche is just simply something that's always going to be popular. And there's kind of 5 of them. I don't know, I would add one more to this list, but there's weight loss. I mean, it doesn't matter how many eons away we are, everyone is still going to be looking on how to lose weight. So the weight loss industry, anti-aging, baby boomers are getting older, so that's becoming a really, really big niche that you can carve out your corner of. Parenting is always an evergreen niche, no matter what happens. Somebody's always going to be having babies. Cooking and relationships are the 5 on this list, but I would probably add to that list internet marketing or some sort of way to make money on the internet.
Make money online.
Yeah, I would add that as an evergreen niche because I think at this point in time, with the way the internet has grown and the way the economy is, especially here in the U.S., people are always going to be looking for another way besides having, a 9-to-5 job to make money. And the internet is really the easiest way to do it now. So I would add that to.
Although the caveat I would add to that as a niche is that unless you've actually been online and are making money, know how to make money online, you shouldn't go into that niche.
Unless you're going to do a journey thing and you're going to be honest about it.
Yeah.
That's how I got started with my internet marketing for Mommy's blog. Is I just started, and then I got really good at Squidoo, and so I started teaching people all the things that I was learning at Squidoo. But here's the thing: if you're going to do that, you have to be willing to fail. You have to be willing to try things you've never tried before. You have to be willing to be the leader. You can't be a follower and do a journey blog. You just can't, because you have to be willing to get out there and try new things that you're going to be able to share with people, whether they worked or they didn't work. So that's a good caveat for that, is either, be ready to, forge into places you've never been before, or have already taken the journey and had some success that you can share with people how you got there, for sure. So today I thought what we would do is kind of go through these big evergreen niches and talk to you about how you can get noticed in one of these big niches. So let's just start with weight loss. The thing is, the key to getting found in these big niches is to niche it down, really. You're still going to be part of the big niche, but you need to talk to specific people within those niche. So if we're talking about weight loss, who would be like a possibility to talk to, Kelly?
The first thing I always think of when it comes to weight loss, and I don't know why because it never mattered to me, but is brides trying to fit into a wedding dress. You know, there's always those women who are panicked. It's 2 weeks before their wedding and they need to drop that last 10 pounds to fit into their wedding dress. That's a great niche to go into, you know, because those are people who are desperate and are willing to try anything and are looking for help right now.
That's a great point. The one that I think of is moms after they've had a baby. It's helping them, you know, find a way to lose weight when they have like a baby who's taking up 99.9% of their time. That's a great niche. You can go by age, like older people, helping people over 40.
Mm-hmm.
You see how when you pick a target within that niche, then suddenly your message gets really clear and you start talking to people directly. And the other bonus of this is that you can go find these people. So if you decided to talk to new moms about weight loss, you wouldn't go to like a gardening forum, or you wouldn't just go to Facebook. You would go to like Baby Center's new mom forum or something like that, you know, so that you can get into conversations with this particular group of people. And then maybe in the signature of your forum post, you have, you know, how to lose weight right after, how to get your pre-baby body back, you know, and then people will click that. But if you have a huge weight loss, you know, it's like doing keyword research. You know, weight loss, you're never going to get on the first page for that, you know, because it's such a huge term. But if you decided to say your target market, what you wanted to focus on was how to lose 10 pounds after having a baby in the next 30 days.
Right.
You know exactly who you're talking to there, and you can easily find those people and get them to your blog.
And you know something with that's I've seen a lot of lately is exercising with your baby.
Oh, that's a great idea.
You know?
Yeah.
And so that's great because, you know, moms, they want to exercise, but there's nobody to watch the kid. How do I do it when my baby's trying to, you know, my toddler's trying to crawl across into the kitchen and, you know, driving me crazy? Yoga with your baby, exercises you can do with your baby. There's a lot of that going on right now.
Yeah. So even if you just said, you know, it's interesting because what's cool about evergreen niches is that trends change over time, but the topic stays the same. So even if you started right now talking about, you know, how to lose weight after you've had a baby, like this month you might be talking about yoga with your baby or doing, you know, whatever, exercising with your baby at home. But next month something new might come up. So then you would be talking about that thing. So it gives you the freedom to talk about what's popular and trendy topics within a specific evergreen niche. And that's really cool because if you just decided to do yoga with your baby, which, I mean, right now is a really popular niche, but in a year from now, is that still going to be a popular thing to do? There might be other things. So
right.
You don't want to niche it down too far, but you want to know exactly who you're talking to. And you could even go more specific than that and like do moms who are over 40 trying to lose weight right after they have a baby, because moms, or maybe over 30 would be probably a better option. But moms are waiting. I mean, I was 35 when I had Hannah. I was, you know, moms are waiting. But it gets a little bit harder to lose the weight the older you get. You know? So, I mean, those are the people that you can talk to. And they're going to be listening because, I mean, they want to lose weight just as much as, you know, the 18-year-old who's getting ready to go to college, you know?
Yeah, you know, my kid is 15 and I'm still trying to lose the baby weight. And I didn't even give birth to him. It's such a struggle.
All right, so let's jump in and like, so the thing is that you just kind of have to brainstorm a little bit and start thinking about different ways that you can look at this huge niche and the people that are in it and how you can help them. and just niche it down a little bit. Don't go too far, but you want to make it a smaller group of people within that evergreen niche so that you know exactly who you're talking to and you know exactly how to find them. So the next one is anti-aging. And I'm getting older, but I really don't care. So I'm having a struggle with this one. But who would you try to talk to in this group, Kelly?
Well, there's baby boomers. Baby boomers is such a huge, huge segment of the population right now that there's you could women over 40, redheads, skincare for redheads, anti-aging, there's so many different kinds of skin issues that people have. With you could go the natural route for people who can't use fragrances or the anti-allergy kind of stuff. There's so many different ways that you can go about anti-aging. You can go at it from a nutrition angle. You can go at it from a cosmetic angle. There's just a lot of different ways you can get into that.
Right, and I'm sure that if people were involved in like that area, they would have lots of really good ideas, and they could think of more ideas probably than I can, because it's like the least favorite of the evergreen. Yeah, I would never go into
like
it.
Not even anything I ever even worry about at all.
Exactly. So it gets harder. But that's exactly the point, and I think we talked about this last week, is why you do things that you enjoy. I could never in my whole life do a blog on anti-aging because I don't care. I don't use those products. I mean, I don't do makeup. I don't have a skincare regimen. I don't have one. I wash my face in the shower. It's good. I'm done. Whatever. But that's the point.
What did you use? Water?
Pretty much. But you have to pick something that is of interest to you so that you can, you know the ins and outs of it. Like weight loss and parenting and cooking, I love those things. So I can probably figure out more ideas and more angles to go at this evergreen niche than I would be able to with the anti-aging niche. So it's really important.
But there are people who will say anti-aging. I know there's a ton of stuff out there. That's what I want to write about because I know the money is there. And there are people who can do that, even though it's not necessarily something that interests them. They get interested in it just because they know it's a good niche. And that's okay, too, if that's what you want to do. It's not what I can do. That's just such a foreign idea to me. But I know a man who has two very female-focused blogs on women fashion and women's healthcare, and that's what he does, and he makes money with these two sites, and why he decided that was his niche, I don't know. I never asked him, but it just seems like a really unusual niche for this guy, but he does it, and he makes it work.
Yeah, it can be done, and I guess as much as I love to write, I don't want to put myself into a situation where I dread writing, and if I don't know about the topic and I don't care about it, it's really hard for me to do that. So I guess it's just a matter of, if you're going to have to work, you might as well love the hell out of what you're doing, and that's the direction I've always gone. But it definitely is possible, and if you can't write, you can hire a ghostwriter, you can use PLR, there's ways to make it work, but personally, if I'm going to be working, I want to love what I'm doing, so I have always gone that route. Well, except for the small niche sites, which then you only had, back in the day, you only had to write 10 pages. So, I mean, it wasn't a ton of writing on things I had no idea about or didn't like. But if you're going to build a big site, a blog, I always just go for what I love to do. Speaking of which, parenting is our next topic.
Now, that's a love-hate relationship.
No kidding.
Depending on the day. But that right there gives you, just being able to say that, that there are days in parenting where you totally hate it. That's something great to blog about, because people connect with that, and a lot of people are afraid to say that today being a mom just sucked, A lot of people are afraid to say that out loud because they think people will think they're a bad parent.
Right.
So if you can blog about that, and people love it. When you see a post like that where someone is, today was a crappy day because I was screaming at my kid. I can't remember who it was that wrote a post, and that was, I mean, basically the title of it. They had so many comments,
Mhm.
you know, because people connect with that. Because
Right.
everybody's had that day where you just felt like you screwed up so bad as a parent. And it's you know, it's easy to connect with people with things like that when you're honest and it's what you're, you know, it's what you're doing.
Right. Yeah, and there's just so many different ways to do parenting that it makes it kind of easy to niche this one down a little bit. I mean, there's natural parenting, there's, screen-free parenting. As many books as you've read and that are on your bookshelf about parenting, any one of those could turn into a blog and a theme for your blog. Um,
Mhm.
you could do different age groups, parenting elementary school kids or teenagers or adults. There's parents who, have adult kids who've left the
Yeah.
home. And not very many people talk about that. But it's, I imagine, a whole different relationship, once your kids leave the house, that you could connect with those older parents with. Um, there's just so much. And I think, again, what you bring to this is your experience and your point of view, especially with a parenting, with all of these blogs, actually.
Mhm.
You bring you to it. So even if I was writing a parenting blog and Kelly was writing a parenting blog and, all the parenting blogs that I read, none of them are the same. Even if they're all talking about, like, natural or gentle parenting, none of them are the same because none of the bloggers has had the same life. They're not the
Right.
same people. They haven't had the same experiences. So
They don't
even
have
if
the
I'm
same
reading
kids.
five, what?
They don't have the same kids.
Exactly. And so even if I'm reading 5 different gentle parenting blogs, none of it's the same. And absolutely, like, no one has like it. And it's funny because, and that's, where I started my whole blogging journey was after I had her, and she just screamed 18 hours a day, and I thought I was going to lose my mind. And I realized that there was other people out. It wasn't me. I wasn't being a bad parent. It was her. She was the bad kid. But I started blogging about my frustration and looking for a way to just connect with other moms. And I found out that there's this whole group of kids, like spirited kids, who are like that. They're more of everything. And there was other moms out there who were pulling their hair out just as much as I was. And even today, I haven't blogged on that blogger blog in forever. And I think I have one post about spirited kids on this blog I blog on now. I still pretty frequently get traffic related to spirited parenting, spirited kids. And
Mhm.
if people are out there looking, even 8 years later, people are still finding my blog because they don't know how to do this whole role of being a mom to a spirited kid. It's a really different journey. I look at my sister, and her kids are so sweet and calm and beautiful and friendly and easy, and I'm like, holy crap, I didn't even know that was possible. So it's like you read these books and you try your stuff on your spirited kid, and it just doesn't work because their brain doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
So when you start talking about, I'm raising a spirited kid and this is what's worked for me, like, you super connect with people who have spirited kids. They're like, oh yeah, I tried that. That would never work, but I see what you're doing there, and I could see how that could work for my kid too.
Mhm.
So it's where that point of connection, where you feel like you might be different than other parents or your kids might be different than other kids. That's your point of connection, because there's
Exactly.
other kids out there who have that same difference, or you have that same difference as other parents. So capitalize on the different things that you feel you have, and then write about that.
It's like I wish I had known when I first married my husband and his kids came to live with us. They were young. They were 5 and 7, 4 and 7. Um, but I spoke English and the kids speak Spanish.
Wow.
And I was learning Spanish. I could muddle through, but it was really a challenge communicating with them. And if I'd been blogging then about, you know, parenting, the things I could have written about, about learning to deal with kids that you have trouble communicating with, and, learning to work together. And when they were little, they loved teaching me Spanish. So, it was a way that we connected, that I connected with them. That's, as a stepmom, that's something huge, that other people could take forward. As a stepmom, let your stepkids teach you something. Let them, it doesn't have to be language. Let them show you things so that they, to build that bond. There's all kinds of things you can talk about when it comes to parenting. I mean, that's just,
Yeah.
and right there, my experience as a parent is completely different from Jackie's.
Right.
We could both blog about parenting, and we'd have two completely different stories, and we would connect with completely different audiences.
Okay. And the thing is that once you kind of identify what specifically you're going to talk about, it makes it much easier. If you just went out there looking for moms, holy smokes, there's a gajillion of them. But if
Yeah.
you go out there looking for moms of spirited kids or stepmoms of two boys,
Mm-hmm.
you now you have an ability to talk directly to that person, and they're going to hear you because they're going through the same thing as you. So it's really, that's the key to standing out in a big niche, is to be kind of specific about exactly who you're talking to. So cooking, holy smokes, I love this one. This is the same. I mean, there's a million ways you can break down the cooking niche. And with Pinterest now, holy smokes, the cooking niche is a great niche to go into if you can keep it specific enough that you're going to keep having people come back to find your stuff. The thing I found, and I have a few blogs that aren't necessarily well maintained now that are in the cooking niche, but like I have a crock pot, but you can go even further than that and do crock pot chicken. Like I have a
Mm-hmm.
whole blog that's about crock pot chicken recipes. There's like a gajillion out there. So when people start looking for crock pot chicken recipes, they find me and they find my blog. And then you can monetize by selling crock pots. Pick your favorite, review a bunch of different ones. People need different sized crock pots. So you can do that. You can sell cookbooks. You can sell utensils. You can sell a lot of different things. But that's a great way to do it. Just remember Amazon. Amazon is your friend when you're talking about a cooking blog for sure.
And something nice with cooking blogs also is you have the ability to get sponsors. You have companies that will do sponsored ads, with products like, I can't think of any. Stouffer's is the only company that's coming to mind, but
Tyson, I think, does that.
say what?
Tyson, I think, does sponsored
Yeah,
ads.
Tyson is. Chicken.
Yeah.
They give you a free chicken and you make a crock pot recipe out of it. And they pay you for the blog post too. So I don't know if Tyson specifically does that, but a lot of the companies, that's what they do. They give you a product. They want you. Usually, it's a new product or something that they're trying to promote.
Mm-hmm.
And they give you the product. They may pay you for the blog post also, and you get to blog about it, And so it helps build you, and it helps make you look like an authority because you're being able to connect with this bigger brand.
Right. Right. But there's dessert, there's main courses, there's vegetarian, there's vegan, there's paleo. Go look at like a diet section in the bookstore. And any one of those cookbooks out there, gluten-free, you can start a blog on any one of those topics. But I really think that you need to, in this category especially, niche it down to speak to specific people who are looking for those kind of recipes. Because you're just going to get lost in the shuffle if you try to do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
You might do it like, there was a blog that I used to read, I think it was, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like dinner under $5. And all she did was share these really inexpensive recipes that she fed her family of 4 or 5 on less than $5 a night. Now, hello, there's a lot of people who would be interested in that. So, you can go by the monetary value, the meal itself, the type of meal. What?
30 minutes or under, meals in 30 minutes or less,
Yeah.
Or meals that kids will love, recipes that your kids will love.
Mm-hmm.
Recipes you can make with your kids.
Yeah, that's a great one.
There's all kinds of stuff that you can do with food.
Yeah. It's interesting you just said that, the 30-minute meals thing, and it made me think of Rachel Ray. And then I heard in my head people saying, yeah, but Rachel Ray already does that. I'm going to read my 30-minute meals when Rachel Ray already does that. And it made me think this morning when we were doing a little bit of research for this hangout. We were on, well, Kelly was on Google, and she's like, oh, look here, Brian Clark over at Coffee Blogger did a post on this exact same thing, and this big guy did a post on this exact same thing, and this guy did a post on this exact same thing.
Like 50 blog posts all about the same topic with almost the same title.
How to stand out in a niche that's saturated. And we're like, well, I mean, maybe we shouldn't do this topic. I'm like, but our group, our people are not like Brian Clark's people necessarily. There are people. And so as you build a viewership and a readership for your blog, even though there's lots of other people writing about the same thing, even if they have big names like Rachel Ray or Coffee Blogger, your people are going to come to you for the information because you're you and they know you now. It's like the difference between Rachel Ray and me. You don't know Rachel Ray from Adam, but you know me because I'm here every Monday morning,
Mm-hmm.
And so people can trust that, and they know that, like, as they read your blog and as they get to know you, they know that they can trust you with the information they're looking for, and so they're going to come back to you. And yeah, they may buy Rachel Ray's cookbook. You can sell Rachel Ray's cookbook on your blog, but it doesn't mean that they're not going to come to you too.
And is Rachel Ray a mother? I don't think she is.
I think she has a dog.
Exactly. So Rachel Ray might have 30-minute recipes, but does she have 30-minute recipes that she does while she's trying to help 2 kids with homework and change a baby's diaper? So you've got things that you can add to your blog, even if you're blogging about the same thing as her, a 30-minute meal. You're coming at it from a totally different viewpoint, so it's gonna connect with different people.
Yeah. Oh, I love that point, Kelly. That's a good one. Okay, so relationships. I'm trying to think. I just ran across this blog not too long ago, and it was about having a happy marriage. And, so often, I don't know if it's just me because I'm in the blogging niche and I know this guy, but there's like the whole how to get your ex back thing. And I see so many blogs about that, and I don't often see a lot of blogs about creating a happy marriage. And so this blog does really, 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 really well. And it was kind of amazing to me. But, you could do relationships not just with getting your ex back, but wedding planning. Like, it can be a stressful time in your relationship when you are planning your wedding. Or, how to manage how to keep a good relationship like when you have kids, and how to make, your marriage important once you're a mom. That is a huge thing. Having a good relationship with your kids or your siblings, or there's so many different places you can go with relationships. Again, this probably isn't my area that I would talk about, but there's a lot to go.
I know I did a series of articles. It wasn't for my own blog. It was for another site that I did like guest posts. But it was a series on being in a cross-cultural relationship. Because I'm from the United States, my husband is Peruvian. And so there are a lot of things that, we had to fight through in order to make our marriage work. I mean, we've been together for 14 years now. So we're doing something okay. But, it's not always easy when you have completely different expectations of even what marriage means. So, there's so many different ways you can come at the relationship angle.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, even like having a good relationship as you get older. You know what I mean? Like, we're not there yet, but like people when they're in their 60s? I imagine that their relationships are different than people in their 30s. You know what I mean?
Maintaining a relationship after you retire.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
When you're suddenly having to spend so much time together after years, 40 years of only seeing each other a couple hours in the evening.
Yeah. Oh, I think that would be an amazing blog, actually.
I know. I'm thinking, wow, I hope I'm still blogging when I'm that age.
I go,
dibs on that one.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right, so like the last one that I added to the list, and we really are running short of time, is the online marketing niche. And if you're going to do this one, you really, really, really have to niche down. You need to talk to specific people, whether it's moms or dads or people with kids that are small or people that are new, or you want to go to specific things like maybe a whole blog about Twitter. Twitter's probably not going anywhere. Facebook or social media in general, and just stick with the topic. It can be like Tracy. Kelly does, her whole thing is about blogging. And that is niching it down. But she doesn't just do blogging. She does blogging for moms who want to work from home. So that is a really specific category. So she can seriously get in there and find exactly who she needs to be talking to and speak to them directly. If you try to just talk about internet marketing, my word, if you just try to talk about internet marketing, you're going to get lost in the crowd for sure. Kelly?
Yes, you're right. I was just thinking, yeah, that's
right. I know that.
because I was in the middle of swallowing some Pepsi. You've got, it's not only do I have the people that I want to connect with, I've got that narrowed down to, moms, stay-at-home moms, but I've also got the aspect that I'm talking about is specifically building a blog. It's not just any kind of internet marketing. It's specifically building a blog, and it's about taking action. The actions that you can take that will help you build a blog. And I'm talking to this specific group of people that want to build a blog. So it's like in several different ways I've divided my niche up, into a small group of people.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it also, and it also lets me have, by going so narrow in 3 different ways, I think it's also given me, it makes it accessible to other people too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree. And if you look at like the really big internet marketing blogs, they're about something specific. I mean, Copy Blogger is about writing copy. Pro Blogger is about how to make money with your blog, and which is different than just blogging. It's totally different section of it. It really is a niche in and of itself. Fizzle, it's all about building something that you love. It's not about grinding it out. It's not about building a million niche sites unless you absolutely love that. But it's about building something that you love and bringing something awesome into the world. So you don't have to think necessarily by the people, but maybe by what the end product that you want to have. Like you want to build something great. You don't want just some random thing that makes you a little bit of money. You want to build something awesome. So that's another way you can start thinking about how you can connect with people. Because there's a difference in the people who want to build something amazing and the people who just want to knock out 10 niche blogs so they can make $100 a day. Totally different people.
And there's nothing wrong with being one or the other. It all depends on what your goals are.
Absolutely.
I know we've gone a little over, but that made me think of this. Last night I was visiting blogs. I was at a link-up party, and I was looking at some blog posts, and I saw a post from someone who said 10 reasons what her blog post was 10 reasons why my blog is not successful. And it was a really good, honest post. It was about I don't spend enough time on it. I don't take it seriously. I put other things before my blog. Like this was one that really hit me. If my husband says he wants to go out to dinner, she goes, it doesn't matter if I've planned to do something with my blog. I say forget it, and I go with my husband. He's always going to come ahead of my blog. And I had to comment on it. I had to comment on her blog post. I'm like, that's okay. That doesn't mean that your blog's not successful. I mean, she must have had 30 comments on that blog, so obviously people love her blog and are connecting with her and reading it. And she's looking at it as being unsuccessful because she's not making a lot of money with it. And I was like, but that's because you don't think of your blog as a business, and that's okay. It's like being a baker. If you opened a bake shop and you only went into work on the days when you felt like cooking, the days you felt like baking, when you had the urge, and say in the middle of the day your husband calls and says, hey, I want to go out to dinner tonight, and you say, okay, and just close up shop and left, your bakery is not going to do very well. People want to know that you're there open every day and that they can go get what they want. But if you just love to bake and you bake at home when the urge hits you and then you go and you deliver little packets of brownies or cupcakes to your friends, they're going to love you. They're gonna be so thrilled about that, and everybody's going to talk about what a great baker you are. So you're still going to be successful. You're just not going to have a bakery that's making a lot of money. And your blog is the same way. You know, you've got to decide, is it something that you want to do because you love it, or is it something you want to do to make money? And if you want to do it to make money, you have to be professional about it. You have to do it whether you feel like doing it or not. It's got to be a business. It can't just be, I feel like blogging today, so I'm going to write something.
Right. And you, like when you're in Tulsa on vacation, you still have to come to work.
Yep. Exactly.
I mean, that's how it is, you know. You have a commitment that Mondays you do blog workshop, and so you find a way to make it work. I mean, it's half an hour in my day. I'm going to be going having fun the rest of the day, but you know, you make the commitment to be here when you're supposed to be here. I love that. You know, gosh, we are so over time, but it just occurred to me that like lifestyle is another type of evergreen niche.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people have such original and unique lifestyles now. Like the laptop lifestyle is definitely one of them. Being able to be location independent because of your business is one of them. But if you are like, I don't know, like if you're a mom who is like a religious mom and or something like that, you know, I know quite a few of these people. And so their version of the world is totally different than mine. And the way that they do things and how to have a relationship, you know, with God or whatever, you know, and how to bring that into your day-to-day life. It's kind of like mindfulness, which I've been doing a lot of. You know, that is like kind of a lifestyle. It's not just the topic, it's the way you live your life. So you can also kind of do a blog like that because there's other people in the world who are probably trying to live the same type of lifestyle that you live, and they just don't know how to do it. I mean, I read lots of mindfulness blogs because I'm a beginner, and I don't exactly know how to bring this into the moments where I'm not doing so well at it. So I read blogs to figure that part out. And there's some blogs that I absolutely adore now that I never would have found if I hadn't started taking a mindfulness journey. So you can also think of that, you know, but you want it to be really niche down and specific to certain people who are going to be looking for that information. I think maybe lifestyle fits into a lot of these other categories sometimes, but sometimes you find like your lifestyle is a little bit outside of these evergreen things, but it's also something else that you can look at.
Yeah, you know, I remember one of the first times you and I ever talked about Ree at Pioneer Woman, and it's like when we were talking about her, my thought on her is she's a mommy blogger, and you were like, oh, I never think of her that way. I think of her as a food blogger.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I guess she is a food blogger. I mean, she's had cookbooks. She goes on shows and does cooking episodes and stuff. And but she blogs about photography. She blogs about her life on the ranch and all those things. Being a homeschooling mom, you know, her photography, raising cattle, her cooking. All those are parts of her life as being the chick from New York that moved to a ranch, you know, and so that is a lifestyle blog is really what she's doing.
Absolutely. That's what I consider it now that I kind of have been there more often and I know more about her. I would definitely call that a lifestyle blog. If you don't live like, I don't know, 55% of the rest of the world, you can turn that into a lifestyle blog for real. Okay. Absolutely. Homeschooling is another one. You're more than 55%, so I think that you can turn that into a whole thing. And it's getting bigger, too. More and more people are homeschooling and want to know what to do and how to do it. So that's a perfect place to go. And there's lots of curriculum you can lead people to and things that you can do to monetize that blog. So if you're a homeschooling mom, again, you can always also niche that down a little bit further because homeschooling is becoming a really big topic. You can do like unschooling. There's even little divisions in homeschooling itself. But you could do it as a religious thing if that's, you know, the kind of homeschooling you do, or more secular homeschool, or there's just tons and tons of things that you can do to speak specifically to the people that you're looking for who are just like you. So that, I guess, in and of itself is our point today, is that there are huge topics, and you can make them smaller so that you, being who you are, can talk to other people who are similar to you.
Yeah, I feel like I could just keep going on and on about this, but it really just boils down to that, is taking
Yeah.
that niche and finding your little corner of it, so that you can connect with your tribe.
Yeah, for sure. And really, just so you know, I think people get really stuck on this. It doesn't take 1 million people following you to make a successful blog, to make a profitable blog. Really, if you can create 100 core followers, you'll have it made in the shade. It doesn't take 1 million people, but it does take figuring out who you want to talk to and getting started. You have to take action.
Taking
And
action.
there is room. I know, it's like your middle name, but you have to start taking action. There is always room for course correction as you go along. So don't think that if you start doing this one thing that you can't ever change or do something a little bit different. You totally can, but you can't do it until you get started and you see what the reaction is going to be and how things are going to work and how it's going to play out. And that only happens from getting started and writing blog posts and publishing them. Don't save them in draft. I swear to God, don't save them in draft. Hit the publish button and see what happens. And
Get them out there.
That little rant.
You get your blog post out there. You can always go back and edit it later if something if you don't like something. You can always go back and edit it later. But it's never going to do you any good until it's out there in public.
Yeah.
So even if it's not perfect, just publish it. You don't have to be perfect.
Absolutely. Hit the publish button. Get clear, write, publish. The end.
Every day.
Every day, that's right. All right, people, we have gone on for way too long today. I'm very sorry that but I just had way too much to say to quit. So, have an amazing week, and we will see you back again next Monday at 10 Central for another edition of Blog Workshop.
Bye.